Thank God. Thank God this is the last late Flyers game that we just have to go through because I am so tired of watching this team late at night because they make me want to fucking vomit. They do. They do. It's so putrid watching this team. Like they frustrate me regardless on a regular basis, but I think it just elevates when you have to watch this team late at night. I feel like that just escalates the emotion watching this goddamn team. And this game was just one of the very frustrating games at all, and everything that just went into it, and who they were facing tonight in the Anaheim Ducks. But before we get into this very frustrating loss by the Flyers, welcome back to TTP Sports, everyone. The most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. So, if you're a new viewer to the channel looking for all your latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the channel to be at, depending on the outcome. It is a great or miserable time depending on that outcome, so definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you're a new viewer to the channel and just been here for that long, I am very grateful for you being here and looking to continue that down the road. So getting into the business tonight, the Flyers lose their last late night game past 10 o'clock to the Anaheim Ducks by a score of 4-1. And even before getting into this game, just like before basically this afternoon, everything like that, the big news from the Flyers today, another, additions to the COVID list, where you got Jackson Cates, Nick Sealer, those two guys were added to the list, but the bigger names that were added to that list this afternoon as well were Claude Giroux and Ivan Provorov. So yeah, those are big losses. Those are big losses, especially because when you don't have Sean Couturier, who is week to week at this point, so you're missing a center there, you're missing Claude Giroux, your captain, one of your better players on the team, probably your best player on the team, and also your number one defenseman, and Ivan Provorov, yeah, you're losing a little bit right there. Definitely there. You're definitely losing some. So Max Willman comes back into the lineup, Mayhew comes back into the lineup, and also Cam York makes his season debut for the Flyers. And honestly, for Cam York, just get into a little bit of positives from this game because there are very few in my honest opinion. Cam York looked pretty good. Playing with Justin Braun, he looked pretty good. And I know during his season in the AHL this year, it's his first season in the AHL. I know he's gone through it. I think he had COVID earlier on in the season as well. So that hindered his play a little bit, and this season just really hasn't been the best for Cam York down in Lehigh Valley. But this first game for him, and honestly too, the funny thing was they even said he didn't feel good at all like the past couple of days, but it wasn't COVID related, and he actually got IVs this afternoon before the game, so I was just like, Jesus Christ, can anything else go wrong? But still, Cam York looked good today, and I wonder that maybe it's just something that this is probably not definite or anything like that, but maybe just Cam York adapts to the NHL better than the AHL. There's some cases probably where some players don't perform well in the AHL, but they perform a lot better in the NHL. There are some instances, especially if you look at this Flyers team right here, Carter Hart, when he first went to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. His numbers weren't the best. He didn't play the best hockey in the world down in Lehigh Valley. His numbers weren't, a little skewed, but when he came up into the NHL, was basically the sky's the limit for him. He became a lot better. So I wonder if that could possibly be the reason for Cam York. You never know. I would like to see him up here the rest of the season, but hell knows that's going to happen. We're going to have to dread through goddamn Keith Yandel and his, garbage night in and night out. So there's one thing for you there. And also the other positive today, Carter Hart back starting tonight after, missing 2.5 weeks. His last game started, I believe, was before December 18th, because I remember before that, it was Martin Jones on December 18th against Ottawa or something like that, and Carter Hart couldn't go to that game because he had an illness. So it was told he had the flu. It wasn't COVID related, but then he eventually got onto the COVID list where he was asymptomatic. So he missed some time with that. He basically missed 2.5 weeks in total. And for missing 2.5 weeks, I thought he looked pretty good today in net. He was one of the main reasons why this team was in the goddamn game to begin with. So there's, your couple of positives there. And yeah, I would say your other positive, I think Cam Atkinson and also Joel Farabee looked pretty well in this game as well. That line with him, Atkinson, Farabee, and Scott Laughton looked pretty decent in tonight's game too. But really, this is just really frustrating to see this because Anaheim was missing a lot of players as well. They're missing guys like Ryan Getzlaf. They're missing guys like Trevor Zegras. They're missing a lot of people in their lineup, a lot of mainstayers as well. I think the last time I saw, they're missing at least 8 to 10 people or something like that. So Yeah, I guess you could say classic Flyers lost to an undermanned team or something like that. I know the Flyers were missing guys as well, but they also just got some guys back too. Like they just got Lawton back, they just got Hart. They also got Derek Brassard back, but I think he's still dealing with an injury to be the reason why he didn't travel to Anaheim with the team. So I think that's also one of the mainstays there. And also a funny thing, before this game even started too, there was a tweet from I think Claude Giroux's wife to where he was stuck in the hotel room because he tested positive, and he was trying to watch the game. It was blacked out on ESPN Plus, and for some reason the hotel did not have the channel for the Ducks broadcast for some goddamn reason, which was I found hilarious. I found absolutely hilarious that Claude Giroux was not able to watch this game, but I think eventually they said he was able to find some way to watch the game. So there you go, probably an illegal streaming service, which all of us use. But yeah, this game frustrated me. It really did. Because the Flyers, this should have been a game that they won, but I felt like Anaheim, even though the Flyers had some jump in their game moments, like from a certain amount of surges throughout this game, they definitely did, especially at the end of the third period. They had some chances in the second period. They had their chances in the first period. Well, there were spurts in this game where the Flyers had their chances, but I still felt like Anaheim was the much better team. I just did. It just was. And Troy Terry tonight was just goddamn unbelievable. Getting a hat trick, that second goal that he scored in this game, just making a fool out of Travis Sanheim. I had no idea what he was doing, and just making a nice move on Carter Hart to score that second goal of the game for him. It was just, that goal was just unbelievable. Not as unbelievable as Cale Makar's goal earlier today as well in that overtime against Chicago, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, this game is just really frustrating because it just felt like a game that this team should have won. But then at the end of the day, I know what this team is. They're very frustrating to watch. They started off slow. Anaheim just looked like the way better team from the jump. John Gibson was unbelievable today, and it just felt like one of those same things to where it's just the same crap that happens night in and night out. They get stuck in their own zone. They rely on the dump and chase. They can't, pressure in the offensive zone. Even though they did have spurts tonight, they definitely did. It's not consistent, and that is a major problem with this team. Late starts to this game, and I'm sure that's been a thing for so many years now where they are so late to starting a game. I have no idea why that's a thing. I don't know if that's a culture reason. I don't know if that's just a thing with this team. I just don't know if it's coaching or the players. I have no fucking idea why. I just don't. But still, this game was just the epitome of frustration. It just was. Like I said, the only positives in this game, Cam York, Carter Hart, and basically that line of Farabee, Atkinson, and Scott Lawton. And I think Farabee showed a nice, showing as well. But just still, it just felt like Anaheim had way too many, for how many guys they were missing. It still felt like they were the more prepared team for this game for some goddamn reason. I have no idea why. But in that first period, you get that weird goal that originally wasn't even called for us because we originally thought it hit the post, but then you hear Toronto call down with the buzzer to where they review it. You see on the replay that it was in and out just like that. It hit the camera inside the net. So they reviewed it. They brought the time back to originally where the goal was scored, became a 1-0 lead, and then eventually so long later after that, Troy Terry, even though it looked like it was Hampus Lindholm that originally got the goal, but the puck deflected in off of Troy Terry, so that was his first goal of the game. Then he gets that unbelievable second goal of the game. So halfway through that period, Flyers are down 2-0 already. And then you get, at the end of the game, you get a nice rush by the Atkinson line. You got Scott Lawton handing it down to Farabee, who makes a nice pass to Atkinson, who redirects it past John Gibson, makes it 2-1 going into the intermission. You were thinking, okay, the Flyers got a nice surge at the end of that period. Try to find a way to bring that into the second, bring that energy, bring that momentum. They don't. They just don't. JVR had so many chances in this game to score. He did not. He has the breakaway in the second period. He gets robbed by Gibson. And it just felt like the Flyers, even, like I said, John Gibson played very well in this game. Don't get me wrong. He was fantastic. The Flyers had so many net mount scramble chances to where they had chances to bury the puck and they just couldn't connect. And he had so many of those in this game. JVR had so many of those in this game. I remember one chance, I believe it was in the third period, where I think it was the Kevin Hayes line out there. I think JVR was out there at the same time as well, to where Kevin Hayes literally threw one from a bad angle, went in on Gibson, and then the rebound came out to Mayhew, tried to make a nice move, and Gibson just made the glove save look like it was nothing. So, yeah. So you go into that second period as well. Basically, I would say the Ducks have a lot of chances more than the Flyers in this period, even though there were those net mount scrambles that the Flyers did have. But then the Flyers get into penalty trouble, and this was a very bad penalty and a very just a dumb penalty to make. Like, he wasn't trying to do this. It looked like he just wasn't even paying attention on the ice, Morgan Frost. So the Flyers were trying to break into the offensive zone. They turned the puck over, not surprised. And Morgan Frost, I guess he doesn't realize what is going on here. He's trying to turn around, but he's too close to the crease to where he bumps into John Gibson. So that becomes a goaltender interference penalty. So Anaheim, they go on the power play. And this is, oh my goodness, the power play set up by Anaheim right here was just, my goodness, I wish the Flyers can do this. Passing it left and right, and it ends up becoming Sonny Milano, who manages to tap home the tic-tac-home goal. Well, the tic-tac-toe goal, sorry, I butchered that a little bit. But still, becomes a 3-1 Anaheim lead. But then Mike Yeo decides to challenge the play, because you did see on that goal that Carter Hart was like, hey, what the hell is going on here? So Mike Yeo challenges it for goaltender interference. You can see on the play that Rasmus Ristolainen is pushing the guy in front of the net into Carter Hart. So yeah, I can understand why they didn't reverse the call. I think they did make the right call on the ice, because it was Ristolainen initiating the contact with the player, even though his stick was under the pad of Carter Hart, and it was kind of lifting his leg a little bit to where he wasn't able to push over in time for that tap-in goal by Milano. But the call stands. The Flyers lost the challenge, and then they eventually take another penalty because they lost the challenge. So that power play goes into the intermission. So this game got very, I would say, scratch or roughhousing a little bit towards the end of it. You could definitely tell these teams were not a fan of each other. But you go into that third period, the Flyers do get a spew of chances. They did outshoot Anaheim in that third period 15-12. There were a lot of chances for this Flyers team in that period, even though they really did not have that many power plays in this game. They just did not at all. I'm looking through the penalty stat sheet just to remember when the Flyers took their penalties. There were a lot of situations, like their only power play in this game was when Cam Fowler took an interference on Joel Farabee, and that was during one of the Anaheim power plays. So the Flyers really just got a short power play time there, and nothing was really able to happen from that. And going into the end of that third period as well, the Flyers, I think it was, I believe it was 5-on-5 at the time, maybe even 4-on-4, because I believe there was a lot of situations here where they did take penalties. Oh yeah, at the end of that game too, where Travis got called for embellishment as he's getting pushed in front of the net. You literally see what went during this play on Travis Konechny. I believe it was Hampus Lindholm in front of the net with Travis Konechny. He is literally cross-checking the dude as hard as he possibly can in front of the goddamn net. And Konechny falls over is the reaction that you should. Yeah, does he sell it? Yes. Is it embellishment? No, because you literally just yanking the stick at him, pushing him on the ice. How is that embellishment? So it becomes 4-on-4. Mike Yeo, with his aggressiveness in the past couple of games, we saw that in the Los Angeles Kings game when the Flyers went on the power play that one time, the 5-on-3, pulled the goaltender for the 6-on-3. He does that for the 4-on-4, makes it 5-on-4 for the Flyers. And, yeah, this honestly, this 5-on-4 looked like the best power play setup. It wasn't even a goddamn power play for the Flyers. It looked amazing. They were making these passes. Joel Farabee was setting up for so many clap bombs. It just, they couldn't get shots through. And that was the major issue with this goddamn thing. They couldn't get their shots through. Everything got blocked. Everything got deflected. You got JVR down low trying to pass it to Cam Atkinson. It looked like the pass to Atkinson got deflected by one of the defensemen in front of the net. It went across crease. Atkinson's stick was there, but you saw the stick of the Anaheim player right there getting in the way. So that wasn't able to work. And then you get to the end stages of this 4-on-4 where these guys have been out there for probably at least 2 minutes because Anaheim could not clear the zone. They were tired. And the Flyers guys that were out there, they were tired because, for God's sake, score. And they did not, because you know why? Keith Yandel made a goddamn dumb decision to just randomly shoot the puck where he maybe should have passed it to Cam Atkinson or Joel Farabee, because there was literally a guy right in front of him, decides to shoot it. What do you know? The guy in front of him blocks it. They bring it up the ice, And Keith Yandle literally just standing there not knowing what to do. You got Scott Lawton out skating Keith Yandle, for Christ's sakes, trying to get back into the defensive zone. And then Keith Yandle takes a tripping penalty. And then Anaheim goes to the power play. Flyers, again, try to pull the goaltender, make it 5-on-5 instead of a 5-on-4 for Anaheim in the final, 2 minutes in this game. And then, Troy Terry buries it into the empty net to get the hat trick, and that's where your game ends. This game was so frustrating. It just is, to where, everyone here knows my opinions of this team right now. I'm just really, it's unwatchable. It's not fun. Maybe it's the 10 o'clock, the late start games, which is really showing the emotion right now, just because, okay, I get frustrated watching this team on a general basis, but I can handle the 7 o'clock starts because, that's normal. But watching this team at 10 o'clock, it just makes my blood boil. I feel like I'm crazy. I feel like I'm crazy watching this game. You see my goddamn hand shaking right here. I'm crazy right now. This team drives me insane. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. So, going to the stats of this game, Anaheim outshoots the Flyers 30-29. Flyers win the faceoff percentage 52.5%. Flyers go 0-for-1 on the power play, while Anaheim goes 2-for-4. And in the penalty minutes, the Flyers took way more, 12-6. Physical game, 24 hits to 16 in favor of the Flyers. Both teams blocked a lot of shots, 18-14 in favor of the Flyers. Both teams gave away the puck a lot. And so shot totals per period: in the first period, 9-5 in favor of Anaheim. Second period, 9-9 for both teams. In the third period, the Flyers outshoot them 15-12. 3 stars of this game. Troy Terry gets the first star. Obviously, with the hat trick, you got John Gibson, who was fantastic in this game, with the second star, and Cam Fowler gets third star in this game. Oh, my goodness, this team is so frustrating to watch. It just is. It just really is. I'm getting tired of watching this team. Like I said, I think it is the 10 o'clock starts that's really been boiling my blood watching this team, just because of how frustrating they are. But hopefully, with, getting it back into some normal time slots, watching this team to where I'm not going crazy, maybe I could tolerate it a little bit more, but probably not. Probably not. I'll still be frustrated with this goddamn team. So, and a little bit of schedule tweaks for some reason. Originally on, I think it was January 18th, and that is a Tuesday, I believe. That was originally supposed to be a game between the Flyers and the Red Wings, I believe, at home. But for some reason, the NHL decided to replace that game with a rescheduled game against the Islanders. That game that was supposed to be, I believe, on November 30th. That got postponed because of the Islanders' COVID situation. They decided to reschedule that game on that day. So instead of the Detroit game at home, it's going to be a home-and-home with the Islanders on the 17th and the 18th of January, which is very, very weird. But looking at the upcoming schedule in general, the Flyers, after this long Western Conference road trip, they're coming home for 3 games. Pittsburgh on Thursday. Boy, that's going to be fun. Saturday against San Jose, which I will be in the press box in for Flyers Nitty Gritty. And then you got next Tuesday at home against Carolina. Boy, that game is also going to be fun. And who knows how much longer Claude Giroux and Ivan Provorov are going to be on the COVID list, because I think they did test positive, so I'm not sure if they're going to be doing another test to make sure if that was a false positive or something like that. So I'm not sure if it's like Claude Giroux symptomatic or Provorov was symptomatic. I'm not sure if it's anything like that. So I know the new guidelines are you have to be on protocol or quarantine for 5 days. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the type of standpoint here. That would suck too if Provorov nor Giroux can travel with the team, that they have to be in quarantine. So do they have to stay in Anaheim? That's a good question there. I have no idea. But still, this upcoming schedule, not going to be easy for this team. And these past couple of games have already been frustrating enough. There you go. There you go. So I think that's the best way to end off this video so I don't lose my mind anymore. So what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? What are your thoughts on Cam York's performance, Carter Hart's? Try to look at the positives maybe, but also you can put your frustration in the comment section as well, so don't forget to leave those down there. Don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. Don't forget to check out the Panda Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.